All right, everybody, Rob Ferretti here, and behind me I have a 2004 360 Spider. Everything mine, well, it's actually very similar to mine, but it's not mine, and it's got some features that mine doesn't have that I'm really jealous of. Like this, which is the actual Scuderia emblem in the fender. The seats, I don't really mind mine, but you'll notice right there, that's a manual gearbox. And that's what mine's gonna have soon enough. Now, another thing you'll notice about this car is the top. And now the top is stuck, see? And unfortunately, my buddy's been jonesing for a 360 for many, many years and just finally bought this. And when I say many years, I've been married for 10 years. He's been jonesing for this car, or for a 360, for probably 14 or 15 years. So he finally got it, and inside the first 200 miles, he gets this. And this is the worst thing that could potentially happen to a 360. When you're worried about buying a car, especially a 360, all the other stuff is minor, right? The mirrors, the wheels, whatever, it's all minor stuff. Even the engine, you can replace the engine rebuild, engine swap. The tops are $45,000. It's the most ridiculous, complicated mechanism on the car. And if the top breaks, and when I say breaks, there's a bunch of like mechanisms in here. This I don't think has that problem. There's a lot of stuff that could go wrong with it. But this one, and I was like, oh, you're probably just doing it wrong, right? Like, cause I'm like, first time having the car, so let's do this. I gotta put my foot on the clutch. How awesome is that? Oh, and he's got a factory exhaust with cats. But see, you hit the button. See, movement not complete. Now, you're supposed to hear in the back right now, when I push this, the pump. And the pump's supposed to be like, meh. And then even if it's not running optimally, you'll hear the pump making noise. It's not. Either low on fluid, which it may be, which would be the easiest fix, or the pump is tripped and they may need a new pump. Either way, see, 12,289 miles, which is actually less miles than I bought mine. Very similar. Like this car for an 04, red, black, very similar to my car. The top shouldn't be a giant concern, but getting it here, and hopefully it's just the pump, getting it here was interesting because I picked it up with my ramp truck and I went up there. I'm like, you know what? I bet I'll just hit the button. He's probably just doing it wrong because sometimes the thing, it's got like 51 movements in the top. And if any of them trip, it stops the top and you have to like reset the thing. When I say reset, you got to redo the movement because it doesn't want to like crush a window or something like that. But this isn't like that. This top is literally sort of stuck here. And this is about as much movement as you get. You just flop that up and down. But look what happened when I loaded it on my truck. All right, great success. Look at this. This is a Rob Ferretti special. This is the top has failed, which is probably not something you want to happen on any car, let alone a 360. And this is me just being paranoid on an open trailer that I didn't want the air to go under here and potentially damage the top. So I just used some boxes, got creative, and that worked. So the reason I pulled it forward onto the trailer is because my ramp truck, it wasn't designed, in my opinion, to back cars on. Now, my car, if I scrape underneath the front bumper, no big deal. But this is a clean 12,000 mile car that doesn't belong to me. So I didn't want to run the risk of backing this onto the truck to save the top and potentially scrape the front, which is why I ended up doing what I did and did straight up cardboard fiber treatment. And I knew that if the air just rolls over, we good. So we went to the kitchen, came up with what we came up with, and voila, it worked for all 16 miles. So this is the truck, and then the wind would come here. and push this down. No big deal, right? But loading it forwards, I was concerned that the wind would possibly do that and potentially damage the car, because damaging the mechanism to the top would actually suck. So possibly one of the bigger concerns you can have when looking at maintenance records with 360s or 430s is top issues. If you see recurring top issues, recent top issues just prior to sale, get very nervous, get some sort of top warranty. He didn't do that. I mean, this is a super clean car, and hopefully this is a relatively easy fix. Like that can go down because I can adjust the pressure here. But ideally, you don't want to have that, and hopefully that's not the way he starts his ownership experience after so many years. Getting a nice clean car and having a top problem could just be shitty luck, but hopefully it's just the pump crapping out or something like that, and not something that somebody said, ooh, the top is pretty effed, let me sell this car to somebody else and let them deal with it. That's like a wholesaler move. That's what they do. So that's the stuff you have to sort of look out for. So you thought potential major service, potential service history, anything like that was a problem when buying a Ferrari? Well, you were wrong. The biggest thing you should worry about is that top. Let me just show you his engine bay, by the way. I like showing off other people's cars. And I guess I'm not a big fan of these. These are aftermarket, the aftermarket couplers. And just cats, stock exhaust, but you heard it when I started it up. Sounds real nice. But super proud of him. I love, and I've known him for, I don't know, I think 16, 17 years. And to have somebody after 17 years finally get a car he's been jonesing after, good stuff. Thank you for watching. Oh, it's Cosmo eating matzah. A Cosmo eating matzah and not working. We're going to end it on that. For those of you not familiar with my other company, I started a company called Adventure Drives, which combines driving and bucket list travel. It's a lot of fun. Our next trip, we're off to Europe in July. If you're interested, prices can be done per person. Don't worry if you don't have somebody to go with you. We can match you up with somebody. You can check the link in the description for adventuredrives.com and sign up today.